What is going on YouTube? Tyrael115 here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about Telltale's brand new game coming in Q2 of 2016. So for those of you who don't know, Telltale is making a Batman game, and it won't be like the Arkham games. The Arkham games are based pretty heavily on combat. This will be more story driven, as Telltale's games are. So I think this game could be pretty successful. Obviously I'm a Batman nerd, so I know something that I could do to make it more successful. Opinions are pretty split about this game so far. Some people don't think it's going to be very good. Some people do. I honestly am optimistic because there are a couple things that they could do to make this game really good, and I'm going to talk about those things right now. Number one, a villain for each chapter. So what I want to see is one villain for each chapter. I want them to go in depth with a single villain in each of the 5 chapters, because Batman has some amazing villains and they all have amazing backstories. We got Penguin, Two-Face, Mr. Freeze, Killer Croc, Deathstroke. I mean, the possibilities are endless, and I want them to go in depth in that villain and kind of get into their head and see how they test Batman in different ways at once, not all together. And it would just be really interesting to see how Batman figures out how to defeat that one villain and how that villain can hold up to Batman by himself, because in the Arkham games, obviously, they are standing as one and Batman just takes them out. So yeah, that's what I would like to see in Telltale's Batman. Number 2, a darker universe. So I want to see how they can make a darker universe for Batman. I want them to go into the nitty gritty, the corruption, how corrupt the cops and villains and how they intertwine. I want the art style to be darker so that, they can kind of get that feel for some of the other comics that I like that had the darker feel and the scarier theme to them. And that would be really great. The Arkham games did it pretty well, and I would like to see a more comic book style to this game, because honestly it would give it some charm that I would love to see. Number 3, Bruce and Alfred's relationship. I want them to do what Arkham Origins did. I really loved Arkham Origins' take on Alfred and Bruce's relationship. It was kind of rough at first. Alfred wasn't exactly supportive of what Bruce did on his nights, but after a while, he kind of understood why he was being the savior of Gotham. I really liked that, and I want them to I want it to be just Alfred and Bruce, and see how by themselves they take down the villains of Gotham, and see how that affects their relationship, whether it strengthens or weakens it. I want to see it. Number 4, the detective side of Batman. Batman is described as being the world's greatest detective, so why don't they play on that? Arkham Origins and the Arkham games all did a pretty good job of this, but it was a lot of technology, and the detective mode did most of it. I don't want to see that. I want to see Batman's intellectual side. I want to see him figuring out the things and you actually controlling as he puts together crime scenes and figures out how the villain did whatever. I think that'd be cool. And obviously it would work for the Telltale games because it's not going to be based around combat. It's going to be based around story and detective work. Kind of like The Wolf Among Us. The Wolf Among Us had a lot of detective work, and I think that would be really cool. Number 5, into the mind of the Bat. I want to see how Batman's crusade changes his perspective on things. I want them to show how Bruce is affected and how his view on the world is changed by his nightly crusade. I want to see some darker visions that Batman has, how it's affecting him psychologically, how he trusts people, how it's affecting his daily life. I want to see that. And I want to see him grow as a person. I want to see him get stronger as the game goes on, because he has to deal with such dark situations, and I think it would be really cool. Number 6, police corruption and Jim Gordon. So I don't want Jim Gordon to be Bruce's ally yet. I want him to be cleaning up the GCPD as he does in the comics, because at first Batman was all by himself besides Alfred. Jim Gordon wasn't helping him. He didn't have Robin. I want to see Batman take on the villains alone, but I want to see kind of references, and as the game goes on, showing a little bit of Jim Gordon cleaning up the GCPD and going on his own crusade to fix the cops of Gotham City. So that is it, guys. These are my ideas on Telltale's new Batman game. Well, Telltale's Batman. I think it could be really successful. If they play their cards right, it will be a great game. And, of course, I will be recording it here on the channel. Thanks for watching, guys.